everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. For those of you that are new around here, my name is Hannah and I'm an author from the southeast of England. This week's video is super unoriginal, but it's December, so obviously NaNoWrimo is totally finished. It's basically Christmas, so we're all just eating mince pies all the time. So I felt that I probably ought to do a bit of a wrap up on NaNoWrimo and how I found the whole experience. I've seen a few different videos for like a Nano kind of wrap-up video style thing going around. The first one I saw was actually Dan from NaNoWrimo Writing, so I'll link his video in the description down below. Basically, I'm going to steal the format of his video because it worked really, really well and I really enjoyed it. So he did the pros of Nano, the cons of Nano, and any tips that he would give someone who was thinking of doing Nano for the first time next year. So I'm basically going to steal that and just do it again, but with my own lessons and my own thoughts around the process. So first up, definitely got to talk about the pros because there are so many. First big pro for me was it just makes you write. It's pretty obvious. You're given a 50k target, you have a month to hit it. You don't have much choice. If you're serious about hitting that target, then you just have to write. But really, I am the kind of person that needs a deadline to actually get anything done. So having that kind of looming 50k at the end of November, it really did make me actually sit down and write, and I really appreciated that. The second pro for me is getting to know the community a bit better. So I already spoke to a few people on Instagram, but YouTube I'm still kind of new to. So it was really nice getting to know Dan from NaNoWrimo Writing a bit more through the process. And also someone's videos I found really, really helpful and really useful throughout the whole process was the channel To Buggy. I'll link the channel in the description below. They basically uploaded a video every single day and I have no idea how they did it. And I am just envious of their willpower because I just don't have that kind of willpower to do that every single day. And also finding the time. Now, once you get in from work, you've got those few hours to write. Just amazing. So yeah, I'll link their videos down below. Go and check them out. The next massive pro for me was sprinting. So I'm kind of new to sprinting. I'd heard of it before, but I'd never really done it. Never really saw the benefit in doing it until Nano. And doing that first sprint at midnight with about, I think it was like 20 other people from my local area, or like on the Facebook channel, Facebook group, sorry, doing the sprint, that was amazing. So having that energy behind you. So I think sprinting on your own is good, and I will carry on doing that as part of my kind of routine from now on. But doing it as a group, just having that energy behind you and knowing that everyone else in the group is going through exactly what you're going through just really spurs you on. So sprinting was amazing. If you're thinking of giving it a go or you've got a writing group that does it, just get involved because it is awesome. The last and probably most obvious pro of Nano is that it really pushes you just to get something done. Even if you don't win, you end up finishing the month with more words than you started with, and that's amazing. So knowing that this time last month I did not have anywhere near 50k towards my project, I actually didn't even know half of my characters' names, and now they're basically fully fledged characters in my mind. So yeah, that's been an amazing pro for sure. So before we start talking about the cons of NaNoWrimo, I just kind of wanted to reiterate that obviously everyone has a different experience of Nano. Everyone thrives under different circumstances. Some people do not thrive under pressure, and that is absolutely fine. Especially Nano pressure, because it's self-inflicted. The deadline is on you, like you kind of made that deadline really. And some people just don't work well under that, and that's totally fine. I kind of see both sides of the story, to be honest, but I just wanted to reiterate that these views are totally my own, and that, yeah, they're totally just my own opinion. So the first pretty big con of Nano for me was some of the time I felt myself writing words for words' sake. I didn't always think they were the best words I could be writing. I just kind of had that slight constant panic that there was that 50k deadline looming. So I just ended up writing kind of just for the sake of it. And sometimes I found myself like in the next session going through what I've written and kind of editing a little bit because I just hated the idea of leaving it there when I knew it just wasn't very good. So I was kind of doubling up and making it harder for myself doing that. And that kind of made me think, like, why did I do that in the first place? Why did I force myself and really push myself to get those 1600 words that particular day when they just weren't happening? So yeah, it kind of made me think about whether or not that bigger target is actually that sustainable, and whether it's that good a thing to shoot for, or whether you should just be trying your best to write something every day. Yeah, kind of made me think about that a bit. The next kind of negative of Nano for me was just how draining it could be. It kind of got to the last week, maybe 10 days before the end, when I started realising that I had a constant headache. And that was because I was going to work, doing an 8-hour shift or whatever on a laptop, studying like data and stuff, like really close stuff on a laptop, and then coming home, having dinner, so maybe 40 minutes or an hour off from my laptop, and then I was getting straight back on it again. So that, yeah, kind of started getting to me towards the end, because I did just start having a constant headache, and it's really, really draining, and you can feel it like in the front of your face, and it just doesn't do wonders for your sort of energy, I think. And also I think I'm the sort of person that when I have a hobby and I really, really care about it, I just go for it, and I go for it 100%, which kind of does mean that I sort of forget the whole self-care element. And that's where some of Tibucky's videos came in really handy for me, because I kind of got swept up in it, and by about halfway through I realised I hadn't actually stopped. I hadn't really given myself a chance to just take 5 and look away from the laptop. Yeah, so those kind of videos, and just remembering that self-care is a genuine thing that you do need to do. Yeah, that's something that I definitely learned from the whole experience. So what did I learn from NaNoWrimo? I feel like I learned a lot, actually. I know a lot more about my writing habits, and what I'm like when I work versus 4 weeks ago. And there are definitely things that I hope that I take with me as I carry on writing. So the main thing I learnt is that word counts terrify me. If I have that really big word count down in the bottom left corner of my document that's like really slowly ticking on, it feels like 50k is like miles and miles away, I work a lot slower, and I kind of stare at the word count, and I'll write like 10 words and I'm like, oh, has it gone up? And no, of course it hasn't. So what I took to doing, kind of from about 3 days in, I think, it was really, the second I hit 10k, I did it. I completely hid the word count because I just couldn't stop staring at it. And I would only allow myself to check it after every sprint. So I wouldn't check the total word count, I would just check that I was hitting enough words in each sprint to equal 1666 or whatever. And then worry about the total word count at the end of my session. But I literally made it disappear because I just kept staring at it. The other massive thing I learnt is that I am much more productive when I am sprinting. If I give myself like 2 hours or whatever to write, I will sit there and I'll procrastinate, and I'll do some cleaning or some like online shopping or something else on my laptop or some work emails or something. And it's not until literally the last half hour that I'm like, oh my God, I need to do writing, and then I make myself write. So when I started doing the kind of times that I would block out for writing, I literally just stuck to sprinting, and by the end I was doing 3 or 4 sprints in a day, and that was it. And I will definitely try and carry that on. I think the main lesson, besides the other 2 that I've already spoken about, that I've learned from Nano, and I would tell myself 4 weeks ago, so the person before Nano, I would give them this advice, would be just to make sure you write every day. And I think that's something I want to take forward now, even if I only do 500 words a day or 200 words a day or 50 words a day. I just want to make sure I do something every single day. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that's really hit home for me, is that Nano is fun, and it's a really good challenge, but ultimately it's not sustainable. I think I've got quite a lot of writing that I kind of need to untie now, because I think I've kind of written myself in circles or into a couple of corners that I know I can't get out of. So I'm going to have to go back, and when I edit it, I'm going to have to unpick it and then kind of retrace where the characters need to go, which is fine. But I know if I was taking it a bit slower and I wasn't just trying to get those words out, I wouldn't have done that. So yeah, interesting. I was actually reading about a challenge that starts next year. I think it's literally on New Year's Day, which is challenging you to write 200 words every single day for next year. So if I can find the details for that, I'll put them in the description below, because I think that is something that I would feel better about doing, because I think it's just far more sustainable, it's far healthier. You don't forget about self-care, you don't give yourself a headache, you can write with a pen and paper because it's only 200 words. And I'm quite excited to give that challenge a go, so yeah, I'll link that in the description. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd love to hear about your nano experiences. I mean, ultimately, I do think mine was positive, but realistically, I'm not 100% sure I'll do it again. I think I probably will, just because I fear of missing out. Like, I'd probably want to just be involved, especially with the community and the online element of it. I really did enjoy that. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a thinker. I'll have a think about it. So yeah, as I said, I'd love to hear about your experiences. Please have a chat in the comments below. Have you done nano before? Have you been thinking about doing it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I'd love to hear and have a proper chat about it. And yeah, if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more. Thanks.